Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukraine says it won't open humanitarian corridors from its cities due to warnings of Russian provocations en route. Corridors had been set up to allow civilians to leave some towns that are surrounded by Russian forces. Meanwhile, the mayor of Mariupol has said the besieged port city is on the verge of catastrophe and must be completely evacuated. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said Ukraine is prepared to discuss adopting a neutral status as part of a peace deal, but he says it would have to go to a referendum and be guaranteed by third parties. Face-to-face talks between Ukraine and Russia are expected to take place this week. Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov has now said that they may start on Tuesday, with the Russian delegation leaving for Turkey, which will host the talks. It's after Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that a meeting between President Vladimir Putin and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky should happen once the two sides are closer to agreeing on key issues. 2 police officers have been killed in an attack by 2 Israeli Arab gunmen in the northern Israeli city of Hadera. The assailants were shot dead by counter-terrorism officers who happened to be at a restaurant nearby. The Islamic State group said it was behind the attack, the second within days by Israeli Arabs linked to the jihadist organization. It comes as the Arab League foreign ministers have gathered in Israel for the first time for a summit. The summit is bringing Israel together with Egypt, Morocco and 2 other Arab countries and is taking place in the Negev desert in Israel.
At the heart of all of this is
the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, is also taking part in the meeting, which is expected to focus on the revival of the Iran nuclear deal and the war in Ukraine. It is the first time the ministers from the United Arab Emirates, Morocco and Bahrain will meet their Israeli counterparts in his home country. Global oil prices have fallen as China starts to implement a citywide lockdown in Shanghai, an important financial and manufacturing hub. Brent crude lost more than $4.50 a barrel on concerns that the move would mean that demand for oil will fall. The lockdown, which began on Monday, is China's largest since the coronavirus outbreak began more than 2 years ago. The city will be locked down in 2 stages over 9 days while authorities carry out COVID-19 testing. Ghana has removed the mandatory requirement for face masks to be worn in public. President Nana Akufo-Addo announced the decision on Sunday, citing a sustained drop in COVID infections in Ghana and neighbouring countries. The president also scrapped the requirements for negative PCR tests for fully vaccinated travellers arriving in the country through the Kokota International Airport in Accra from Monday. However, he encouraged Ghanaians to continue observing enhanced hand hygiene practices and avoid overcrowded places. The Spanish government will approve a package of around 16 billion euros in direct aid and soft loans to help companies and households cope with high energy prices.
Plan de respuesta que aprobará mañana el Consejo de Ministros y que va a durar.
Making the announcement, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the move should protect industries and citizens. The government plan is an attempt to assuage social discontent prompted by high energy costs, exacerbated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Truck drivers have been on strike for 2 weeks over fuel prices, causing sporadic goods shortages all over the country. And people around the world have been reacting to last night's Oscars and the remarkable moment that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, all right?
Smith walked onto stage and struck Rock before returning to his seat.
Oh, wow! Wow!
It's after the comic made a joke about the actor's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. The actor later apologised on stage when receiving his first ever Oscar for Best Actor. In response, the Academy took to Twitter to say the organisation does not condone violence in any form.
I want to apologise to the Academy. I want to apologise to all my fellow nominees. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.